I hope you're ready for an extra long, extra rambly, irrelevant, what do I call these things? Oddcast. Because this one, I mean, I've written down things that have cropped up during the month or so. But I mean, it's this kind of lockdown psychosis I think I'm suffering from at the moment. I mean, I'm not one that goes out that often. But, you know, when you don't go out at all, it gets a bit weird, doesn't it, after a while? Hold on, let me just check. 36.3, I'm ready to go. These are good, aren't they? Have you ever used one of these things? I mean, as a kid, I remember putting this sort of, the thermometer thing under the tongue, like that. And then more recently, those ones that you put in an ear. You put them in kids' ears and they go like this every time, like that. They pull that same face. But these are really good, aren't they? Weird tech that you buy when things like this go on. Cost about 40 quid. I bet it was cheaper before all this happened. But yeah, got to keep that in the house. Anyway, always useful. Anyone comes to the door, shoot them with the laser gun. Oh, low, they can't come in. Funny thing is, I was supposed to be on holiday today. Hence the shirt. I thought I'll put my holiday shirt on. Immediately spilt something on it as well. But this is one of the days where I was supposed to be on my... it was a river cruise that I'd booked. Never had a river cruise before. Long-time viewers with good memories might remember that I can't fly for various medical issues. That and the fact I don't have wings and I'm not a bird. But I mean, I can't, travel in planes, pressure and all that. Anyway, so all my holidays have to be kind of like non-flight based. Now, I took a lot of cruises out of the UK on cruise ships out of Southampton to all the places around Europe, seen virtually every single kind of European place that a cruise ship stops at. A lot of them, they're not worth stopping at. The only reason they stop there is because there's a port that will accommodate these big ships, boats, I never know which one it is. But a lot of them you kind of go, well, why are we here? This is crap. I'd rather be at home. And some of them are really nice, But I've done some of the up north stuff as well, going up to Denmark, Norway. So yeah, I thought, well, I've done all these flipping ports over and over again in Europe. And you look and you book a cruise ship and you look where it's going to. You go, oh, not those places. That one's rubbish, that one's all right, but I've been there 3 times. That kind of thing. So I thought, I'll do a river cruise. So what you could do with a river cruise, I could get a train from sort of Manchester down to London, and then a Channel tunnel from St Pancras into Paris. This was going to be. And then you get off and you sort of walk across and you get a river cruise down the Seine. Is it Seine or Seine? Anyway, you know what I mean. It starts off in Paris and goes down to like Normandy beaches and stuff and back up. Now, I booked this one because I thought, well, it was the most simple, direct, easy one, very least complicated. So that's what I was going to go on. And no sooner had I booked it than the Notre Dame burnt down. So I thought, that's one less thing to look at then, because it was like a day in Paris, as well. I thought I've never been to Paris, so I thought I'd have a look around there, be nice. But yeah, there's still plenty of Paris left. But then I started looking at this cruise after a while, thinking, I've probably booked the wrong one here. It's going to be going to some really crappy places here. Reading up on them and where it was going, it just seemed like it's going down the back of a lot of factories for ages. A bit like the Manchester Ship Canal, just not really a beauty spot. And then all this happened. So I mentioned in the last one of these, I said I was going to, hopefully it won't happen and I can move it. Anyway, eventually they said, you can do what you want. So I rebooked it. And I changed it. So I ended up booking a better holiday. Paid more, but it was because it was later on in the year. But even that, I don't think it's going to happen now, because I'm sure I've booked it like July, August. Well, who knows what's going to be happening then? So maybe it'll be moved again. So that was a long intro all about a shirt, wasn't it? But there you go. So yeah, I was supposed to be on holiday today. And talking of which... Every time I go on holiday, I can't stop myself. I always do this. I buy a new camera because I don't like the camera I took last time. Every time I take a camera and go, and it annoys me somehow that like it doesn't have enough zoom, or it don't fit in the pocket, it's too heavy. The video is so. And this time I kind of changed the way I was thinking about it, because in the past I've tried to get a camera that does everything and failed miserably. Now a lot of the cameras they'll end up being used in here. I mean, at the moment, you're on a Sony Alpha 6400 with a Sigma 14mm lens on it. The kit lens that came on there with the camera was nice and compact. And I took that on holiday last time. Still, I found that kind of a bit annoying. You know, a bit big, didn't fit in a pocket stuff. So I'm not. I hate's a bad word, isn't it? I don't like using a smartphone as a camera. I might be like one in a million like this, but just that's how I am. I don't like this whole thing. This kind of I'll take a picture, and you got this like silly like butterfly hands, and you're holding this thing on the edge. You're doing this. It's just crap. Now the trouble is the cameras on smartphones now. What we're doing? Get rid of that. Cameras on smartphones are pretty good, aren't they? And they're getting better all the time. And I've had like Sony, what's it, 100, the little small one, and that one, it took really good pictures, but it didn't. I got an earlier one that didn't do like decent video 4K and stuff, so I ended up upgrading. But now when I've seen comparisons online, people looking at the latest one of those, RX 100 Mark 7, I think we're on there, and they compare it to like the latest iPhone, whatever that was last year, the 11 or something, and they sort of say, well, it's a little bit better on this. This is a tiny bit better, but the stabilisation's better on the iPhone. But the depth of field, and you know, there's nothing in it. There's nothing in it, you know, really. To say you're spending £1,200 on a Sony camera that's just a camera, or you've got your phone which does other things, but I just can't get over this taking pictures holding at the edge and all this. I hate that form factor. Absolutely hate again. I shouldn't have said that. But I'm going to have to get used to it, because what happened with this time this year, I thought, right, I'm going to get a camera that's just a camera. I'm just going to whip out a camera. I'm going to have a fixed lens. I'm not going to be messing around with it. I'm going to kind of limit myself down, but just to get the best quality, because if I try and get all these different things, something always goes wrong. Like if it's zoom, it's got soft edges on it. If it does, anyway, the trouble is, I really like an articulating screen. But if I look for all my things that I want on my list, I can't get it. So in this, I thought, no, right, that's it. I'm just going to go for picture quality. Forget video and all, just photo quality. So I wanted an APS-C and a small pocket-sized camera, so I ended up getting myself a Ricoh GR3. Been around a while. It's been out a year and a half or something. Not like me to get something kind of that's been out a while, but I looked online, there were people selling them cheap, you know, you could get them imported from Hong Kong, and somehow they fly them under the radar and all that kind of stuff. So I did that, and then I got a bit carried away. I thought, all right, well, if I'm going down that route, then that's it, I'm investing in, this is what I'm going to do. So I got myself an external battery charger and another battery. That's like £100 or something. I got a little clip-on optical viewfinder just because I thought that was interesting. That was from Japan. Nice little case for it from Japan as well, and whatever that is. Yeah, so I went all out on it, and I'm not going on holiday. And you know what's going to happen? By the end of the year, when if I go on this next holiday, or even if it's next year, the iPhone, whatever will have been out, the iPhone 12 or something, I don't know, the one at the end of this year. As I say iPhone, I mean, there's other phones out there, and good luck to you if you want another phone, well done. But you know, when you're in an ecosystem, you just carry on, don't you? You get all these people with sort of, you should get an Android. You say, all right, would you give up your Android for an iPhone? No, I wouldn't. Right, I won't give up my iPhone for an Android device, because I'm already invested. I've got the Mac Mini here, I've got like the iPad. I'll browse on the iPad to make these videos, I'll save things into the photos will appear on here, I'll take a picture with this, it'll appear on there, I can edit all stuff together. But I hate smartphones. Hate again. But I just don't like smartphones. I hate screens and all this kind of trying to do that. I'm a silly old man, and I don't enjoy them at all. But I use this for, the main thing I use this for is checking my blood glucose, like beep on under my arm. And that's about it, really. But I'm thinking at the end of this year, if whatever the new one of these is, because this has got a big scratch on the screen, I think I'll probably upgrade to the one with the best camera. And you know what? That'll take a better picture than that Ricoh. That Ricoh will still be sat in the box. Maybe I should sell it, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not one for selling stuff secondhand. It's a big nightmare, all that, isn't it? You know, in the past I've mentioned a few things I've done. I kind of get the feeling that maybe I'm responsible for something that then happened afterwards, and it sort of seems a bit big-headed, but there's some weird coincidences. I mentioned that thing with that Crosley turntable, the record store day one with the little records that were the same as the Bandai 8-band records that I'd imported from Japan. So I did the whole video about the Bandai 8-band. No one had talked about it for a decade. The video gets like 1 million views, and what do you know, a year later Crosley brings the product back that had disappeared 10 years earlier and was only out in Japan. And another one recently was Minidisc Day. And, you know, I've done all this stuff on Minidisc, and I did that big video all about Minidisc. And again, that was the one that got lots of views and stuff. And then, what do you know, Minidisc Day happens. I'm thinking, this is a bit of a coincidence, isn't it? No one's talking about Minidisc for ages, and all of a sudden, there's Minidisc Day. That's odd, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, it was me, apparently. Well, kind of. There's a chap from My Pet Flamingo, which is the UK label that I think was responsible for sorting out Minidisc Day. They asked him, like, you know, why did you do it? And he says, I think it was Techmoan's video that gave me the idea. So there you go. I'm not going mad. Some of these things that I do have a kind of knock-on effect. Let's move on to some of those dodgy adverts. You know, you get the adverts before the videos on YouTube. They haven't seemed quite as bad this month. I've seen a couple for Netflix and stuff. You know, it seems like something better to advertise. I'm surprised there are any adverts still going, to be honest, with all this stuff going on. I mean, there's not much you can buy, is there? But still, the adverts are still there for the moment. Although these are ones that people probably booked a month or so ago. Okay, we'll start with this one. Actually, this isn't too bad as an idea, but it just made me feel sick. It's not often an advert properly makes you feel sick, but this thing, Jaws-size. Now, this guy's reckoning before and after that this is what Jaws-size did to him. Main thing is, I'd say, he had a shave here, so it obviously gives you a shave. But let's see what Jaws-size is, if you haven't seen one of these before.
The best way I can explain this product,
it's this thing here. Now, it doesn't do a particularly good job of showing it off, because he's showing it off now. Can you see the Jaws-size? I can't see it, but he's telling me all about it. How you can put this amount of pressure on it on the side. But yeah, this is Jaws-size. My question is, where were these people when they thought of this idea? You know, they were somewhere and they thought, you know what, I think I can make this into an exercise tool, this thing I've got in my mouth. But yeah, in all fairness, I kind of get the idea, but it makes me feel sick. Just look at this. I feel like vomiting when I look at this. It's actually getting that gag reflex where you just feel like you want to throw up. But anyway, this guy is, it's just, oh God, I feel, honestly, I don't know, does it do the same thing to you, where you just feel like you're going to throw up? And it's all these kind of chiseled guys who are obsessed with exercising every single part of their body. And now they've found a new place to exercise. It's your jaw. Oh God, what's happening with her?
It totally makes sense.
Anyway, so that's Jaws-size. God, they look so very angry, these people, aren't they? Chew on that thing. It's like a dog chew, isn't it? Alright, we're back. Let's go on about some of these other things on the list. Here we go, Twitter questions. As you know, I'm not on Twitter. Well, you might not know. Who keeps a track of all this stuff? But yeah, I'm not on Twitter. However, I do see things on my old account. For a while, I had an account, I stopped using it, and I deactivated it. Trouble is, when you deactivate it, it then eventually you lose the username, which doesn't matter to me, except somebody else that can then start using it, which means that then they can pretend to be me, which is the kind of thing you don't want to happen. So you can't just kind of deactivate it and forget about it. So I ended up leaving it there and just putting a thing on saying I'm not using this anymore. But I do keep an eye on it every now and then, because it still gets loads of questions sent to it. Like a dead account that I haven't used for a year and a half or more now. But yeah, I see things. That was one of the reasons I stopped. It was just like a question machine. It was like a second Google to a lot of people. They're just like, what's this? How do I do this? How do you just odds, like, and because if you don't answer, you look like a git. And then if I did answer, I'd end up with this multi kind of conversation thing going back and forth. Well, I don't agree with that. Other people get angry, and other people would chime in and sort of start calling me names and stuff. The whole thing was just a horrible experience for everybody. I don't know why anyone uses it, but anyway. So I get questions on it still, and this was one. I'll put it on screen again. What is this? Well, what the F is this? I'm not really averse to swearing. I'll swear myself, but I don't really want to do it on video. I don't think it's appropriate. But anyway, yeah. So I crossed it out. I'm sure you can tell what that is from those. He had another picture. Let me show you the next one. Right, what can you see here? Smith Corona. I mean, it's a typewriter ribbon. This guy thinks he's found some kind of music format, and it's a typewriter ribbon. How soon we forget. Oh, right. No, that just amused me. There's this guy like, what is it? I don't understand, asking everyone around him, and it's a typewriter ribbon, mate. Don't worry about it. They get things like this that won't amuse me. It was talk about the length of the video. 15 minutes is too long. I'll learn about the camera somewhere else from someone who isn't trying to make a living on YouTube with long videos, like all the other YouTube con men. Become a Patreon, give you free money. Ha 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 ha. Ahem, no. That guy's got a lot of issues going on there, aren't there? You know. I mean, this is a business, isn't it? It's like television. They're not putting telly out for fun, are they? The programmes might be fun, like my videos might be fun, they might be entertaining, but everyone on there is getting paid, from the cameraman to the vision mixer to the editor to the sound to the best boy to the grip to the, you know, all that. It's all paid for somehow, isn't it? And there's this kind of expectation that entertainment should be free. That's another one that always amuses me when I see, you know, about, I've mentioned like I can't play things due to content match, and people say, oh, you should just play like Beethoven's Fifth or whatever it is, you know, some orchestra type thing, classical. There was classical music, so you should play classical music. And you don't understand that. Yeah, it might have been written by a dead Austrian, but the problem is that the people playing it want to get paid, don't they? There's someone there who's gone through all music school and all the rest of it, and they're lugging this flipping brass thingamajig around all the time, and they've turned up at a big concert hall and someone's rented that out, and they've got all the recording equipment in, they've got all the mixes and all that, and they've got all the orchestra together, and they've given them sandwich lunch and all that, and then they're all playing this, and they've, oh no, do it again, they'll do it about all day long, and then it goes away to a studio, they're mixing it, they're putting it out on a record, all that, and somehow someone thinks that is free. Yeah, the composition, that's the free bit, but there's a load of extra stuff that people are still expected to get paid for. So if I then go and stick the London Philharmonic recording under my video, yeah, sure, they expect to get paid, and they should do as well. The bloody hard work, that, isn't it? Putting all that together. You expect, no one's doing that for free. Again, they might enjoy it, but they're not doing it for free. But yeah, I was thinking about something the other day. I thought, aren't violins weird? There's the start of a sentence. But I was watching somebody playing various different instruments and things, and every instrument is quite normal, isn't it? You got sort of things here and you got things there. Everything's kind of sense pattern, all normal. And then all of a sudden you got this. I think it was Yehudi Menuhin I was watching, and his neck's all like that, and it looked really uncomfortable. And I thought, that's the only instrument I know that looks like it shouldn't be getting played in that position by someone. It's just, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but have a look through all the instruments, have a think. Can you think of another instrument that looks as uncomfortable and kind of wrong to play? I know violins are cool and everything, and they need, but they just, why is it over here? Couldn't somebody figure out like a way of just doing it there? What's this business? That looks really. I bet you can always tell a violinist, can't you? Hello, what instrument do you play? Well, you'll never guess. Right. So where was I going with this one? Oh yeah, Nasty Man wants his videos less than 15 minutes. Writes a big long message. He's in a big rush, this fella. Writes a big long message. He says, 15 minutes is too long. This is another thing. People will go on YouTube and then they'll complain that the videos are too long. You're on bloody YouTube, for God's sake. It's not like this is some, like, quick, you've got to get on route. It's not like a kind of commute or something. This is what you're doing in your spare time. This is for fun, you know. You put it, this video's too long. Well, don't watch the video then. I don't get this hurrying thing, you know, because once this guy's then spent 20 minutes searching around for another review of this camera, which he won't find, he'll then, I mean, what's he gain there? If you want to find out about something, if someone's made a video about it, you watch the video. If you think the video's too long, you've got a little slidey thing you can jump. I often jump through videos. I'll look at it and go, hi guys, welcome to, Dave's boring videos. I was going to make a video yesterday, but I decided not to. But today, I'm going to, you drag the thing into the bit where he's finally talking about the thing. Fair enough. I don't write to Dave, say, Dave, your intros are boring. Dave's boring, but you know, just go, no, that's how he does it. That's how he likes doing it. Fair enough. That's his thing. That's his show. He's the guy in charge of it. I'm the guy in charge of moving my little thing along to speed it up. You can watch videos at 1.5 times speed. I was watching an interview the other day, and the guy was like really slow. That's just how he talked. That's just a slow talking guy. You get that every now and then. You get people like me who do it the other way around. And he's just like, but the information was interesting. So I knocked it up to 1.5 times speed, got through it. The person watching videos has the control. The person making them has control over making them. And once they've made a video, that's it. It's set in stone. That is the video. So if you want it longer, shorter, or not to watch it, well, there's ways and means, isn't there? Anyway, look at this. You'll like this. Well, maybe you won't. Somebody's made me as a kind of a turtle. Now, I say it's me. They're not saying it's me, but I know it's me. I mean, look, it's got the shirt, it's got glasses, it's got the gut, it's got the brick wall, it's got a mini disc. And the Twitter thing said, breaking, charming old bloke wants to tell you how neat mini disc is. So I think that's supposed to be me. Nice that they've said charming old bloke, isn't it? I like that. Charming old bloke. But yeah, it just amused. I showed the missus, I said, look at this is me. She goes, that is you. So, you know, that's two of us think it's me. It seems a bit coincidental that they've even got the brick wall. Their brick's got better grout in than mine, I say. But yeah, that was a nice thing. So yeah, going back to a couple of previous videos. You know, I did the one on the Vectrex with the black light thing. I just wanted to mention something on that. That was a nightmare of a video to make because just trying to get the shot right to show the black light. I wanted to do it as a high frame rate. My editing package doesn't do 4K 60. My cameras don't do 4K 60, so I dropped it down to 1080p 60. I thought this will be all right. No, 1080p 50 I had to do because PAL territory, PAL refresh rate and all that. I know it's a vector display, but you know, in the Vectrex he used a normal CRT, black and white CRT. It wasn't a proper vector display, so there is a refresh rate in there as well. Set the camera to 1080p 50 to match the UK 50 Hz thing, and rock solid, looked really good. So I put that in the editing package, edited everything together, tried to export it, and it wouldn't export as 1080p 50. It only did 1080p 60. That was just the limitation of the editing package. And I couldn't find a way around it. So there was just nothing I could do. So I had to export a 1080p 50 video as 1080p 60, which means that one frame got repeated every now and then. And the people were like complaining about it. Oh, it's jerky and all this. But you wouldn't believe how hard it was to get that footage in the first place, adjusting the shutter speed and getting the lights right in the room and avoiding reflection with a CRT with black light. Oh, so that was an incredibly difficult video. It doesn't look like it was like there's anything going on there, but oh God, it took me days to make that one. So that was hard work. Now the Prison Tech video, one of the things on that, the amusing thing, I've seen quite a few comments. Whenever I mention anything in a video that I say, this, you know, this could be better if this, that, and the other, I'll get a lot of people telling me that I'm wrong about it, whatever it is. And on this one, I said, unfortunately, it's only got an RF input. However, if you know what you're doing, you'll be able to modify the circuit board. The reason I mention that is because the 8-bit guy did that video about his old CRT where he'd added in RGB inputs into it. And I'm assuming you could probably do something similar with this if you have that level of technical ability, which I don't, but I just mentioned it to show, because if I just said it's only got an RF input, I'd imagine everyone say, oh, you can modify that, no problem. So I kind of thought, well, I'll just cover all the bases. It's only got an RF input. However, if you want, you could modify it. And then in the comments, it was all, well, you can use a converter to convert composite to RF, or you know, RGB to RF, whatever. And the weird thing was, that's what I'd done, because I'd had to. My face was on the screen on that CRT. Now you don't. Again, difficult problem. That CRT, NTSC television, US voltage. So what I'm using is a step-down power transformer. And then I had to make a video as an NTSC composite video. Then I put that through a converter, which made it into RF, which then meant it could show the screen. Also had to cut the video down to 4:3 aspect ratio. So there was a load of stages to that. And in fact, plugged into the back of the telly to get it to work was this modulator, outputting on like say channel 3 or 4 or something on the US. Well, actually, I think it was channel 20 odd I'd set it to. You can change it on the front. I've got a video player here, little thing. This had to be set to NTSC output, which fortunately this one did. I had to look around the house because a lot of them, they wouldn't like let you change the frame rate. So I had it as like 50, NTSC 60 hertz, 60 frames per second video. Modulator into the back. It was a load of hassle. But the comments were saying, "Oh, you could do that. I've done that. That's how my face was on the screen." But that's the bad way of doing it. You don't want to put a thing through a thing through a thing and knock it all down to RF, because of course games consoles, most of them are like composite output, the earlier ones, but then you've got like things like the GameCube, RGB or I should say component, not RGB really, but if you could get a component set up in the back of that telly, then you'd be sorted, wouldn't you? But yeah, that was just wanted to tell you about that. Now that Prison Tech video, that's done really well. I mean, best video for ages as far as doing well. It's not made me an awful lot of money, I mentioned, because of the ad revenue being down, but still, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's paid for itself and a little bit more, which is about as good as you can hope for. But initially, it was looking like it was going to die. It was really weird. I mentioned this before about videos. It's a bit like pushing a big boulder up a hill. And if you can get to the top of the hill and get that boulder up, it'll roll for ages down the other side. And getting to the top is the point at which YouTube start showing it to other people. Because I've got like 900,000 subscribers. I reckon half of those are probably real people who look at YouTube, because that video was a popular video. But after the first 3 or 4 days or whatever of all the subscribers watching it who wanted to watch it, it only got to 300,000. I say only, but 900,000 subscribers. It got to 300,000, and the views. Well, I should do it the other way, shouldn't I, for the camera? And the views were dying off, and it got to like a sliver, a tiny sliver. Initially, like 11,000 an hour or something. It got down to 20 an hour or 15 or whatever. So proper, it was dead. And I thought, well, that's a shame, because it said this video is doing 200% of what your normally video would do. It shows you all these stats and stuff. This is, nothing you can do about it. You've already made the video, so you just like watching strap yourself in and watch the ride. Enjoy the ride. And it had done really well, but then it had just done its usual thing. It died. Every video dies shortly after. And I thought, and I looked at who's watching it, and everyone watching it was a subscriber. It didn't get out into the feed at all. I thought, well, that's a shame, because subscribers liked it, but it's not going any further than that. Never mind. And then I left it a couple of days and looked, and then all of a sudden it jumped back up again, and it must have hit some part of the YouTube algorithm thing where they started recommending it, and then it grew and grew and grew again, and now it's doing really well again. But initially it had died, so it was like getting that big boulder right up to the top of the hill. And then it starts rolling back a little bit. You can't get it. And you think, sorry, I'll just leave it on the top. And then a couple of days later, it starts rolling. So it's done all right now. I mean, it's up to 600,000 views, that one. So that's a really popular video. And I think the thing with it is, the reason for the popularity, I always try and guess at these things, but because it's called Prison Tech. I mean, it's just a simple name, isn't it? 2 words. It describes what it's about as well. It's tech for prisons. So you can come up with a name for a video, and you spend hours trying to think of how, and you go, yes, a review of the Sony such and such. It's the last of this range of mini disc players, and it's smallest one in the world. And you've only got a few characters, so you try to squash it down, and you go, look at this, and you can't. But occasionally you'll have something that you can just nail in a couple of words that just describes what it is. It's not clickbait, and it's clear to everyone looking at it what the video's about. And that was it, just Prison Tech, dead easy. And I think that's what sold it, that you look at it and you go, oh right, Prison Tech, yeah, I'll watch that. But if it was like the RCA clear television and clear radio that used to be used in the US prison system, you can't really do it. So yeah, I think it was just a lucky title. I think that was it. After I did the prison video, I thought, well, I was reading all that stuff about radios. Yeah, the radio was the iPod of prison, and people were going on about radios and stuff. So anyway, the idea of this one, I got a Sony radio. I just decided, oh, you know what, I'd like a nice little radio. And I just love the design of this. I haven't opened it up yet. I don't think I could do a video on a radio, can I? AM, FM radio. Of course, there's this whole lineage, is that the right word, of Sony radios. It goes all the way through. This looks very similar to a radio they brought out in the 1960s. And it follows all the way through, with the speaker on the left, the tuner on the right, and all that. Just a kind of iconic radio. And, a lot of things nowadays, you're messing with digital things and buttons and presets and holding up or seeking the next station. I just thought it'd be nice to have a simple radio with a proper tuning dial, a proper volume, proper size speaker on it, just like an old style kitchen radio that I haven't got, and it's weird, isn't it? I've got a million things that can play the radio, but I don't have a radio. It's all faffy radios. So I thought I'll get one of those for myself, I'll treat myself to a radio. It's like 30 odd quid or something, which is a lot for a little AM FM radio, but it's the kind of thing that I can imagine myself having for the rest of my life. Now, talking of other weird kit, I want to show you this. I just saw this on the shelf before, and I thought I wanted to show this on a video to somebody, because I like weird things, as you know, like weird, unusual things. It doesn't just restrict itself to tech. It's anything that you look at and you think, well, I can't believe that exists. How about Matryoshka, is that how you pronounce it, doll of Sting? I don't even like Sting. It's not like I don't like Sting, but I don't think about Sting. It's like I've got no Sting's music or but I saw this in a shop in Tallinn and Estonia, and I thought, Sting? That's the stupidest. I mean, there was all sorts of different ones, with like kings and queens and royalty, all that kind of stuff. Sting. I thought, Sting. So there's Sting. Let's open it up. There's another Sting. I mean, somebody's hand painted this. That's what's amusing. That's another Sting, yeah. It all seems to be kind of Sting as he's getting on a bit, not young Sting. Blue jacket. The paintings get worse, of course, because you're trying to do... Oh, there's a little baby Sting in the middle there. That's like an album cover, I think. But yeah, bizarre things. So there you go. That was I just had to show you that, because it was something that has amused me for a long time, and every time I'm shooting a video, it's sat behind you on that shelf over there, and I just every now and then I think, Sting. That's just an odd. Like, why Sting? You know what I mean? Out of all, they weren't like all musical artists. They weren't like. I mean, there was Michael Jackson, I think, as well, but Sting. But anyway, Sting. Right. Let's see what else we've got to go through. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about. I got a hi-fi delivered the other day. It was my first hi-fi. Not like, well, basically, the one I bought or got when I was like 12 or something, and I wanted to feature it in a video just to show how terrible it was. And I saw someone selling one, so I ordered it, and unfortunately got kicked around in transit. I say unfortunately, it doesn't matter too much, because I was going to pull it all apart anyway. But it was really badly packaged. I'd used like half a cardboard box on it, but the cardboard box wasn't big enough for it. So, what would you do if you were packing something you didn't have enough cardboard? Would you get more cardboard, or would you do what this person did and make the rest of the box up out of records? Yeah, records in album sleeves, 12-inch records, like Val Dunican and some marching bands, just really terrible records, all taped together with duct tape and just wrapped around this thing with there's no bubble pack or anything, which is why it got all cracked and stuff. But it just shows you the lack of value in records, doesn't it? Not all records, but there's I noticed whenever I've kind of showed a record in a video and maybe got it scratched or damaged it or whatever, you'll see a lot of people go, oh, you've ruined it, like it's a piece of history, like an incredibly valuable heirloom. Most records are absolutely worthless. Like they take up more space than they're worth. And people threw thousands and thousands of them away when they moved to CDs. and still, but a load of them are just absolute garbage. And so this guy had wrapped my hi-fi up in records so they were worth less than cardboard. Is what he was just using the cardboard sleeve. I kind of unpeeled a few of them, and there's even like a Glenn Campbell in there, and so there's a few like country hits and stuff. I don't think I'd ever play them, but it just amused me, the idea of records being so valueless, some of them, that they're used as packing material. Let me find this here. Now this seems to be the most useless, like the stupidest thing that I've seen for quite a while. It's a holder for a phone. You know, one of the things where you kind of got a magnet in the base and it wobbles because it's got like the steel balls on it, and it kind of just like a swing, like a what do they call them now? Kinetic sculpture type thing. Well, this one they're advertising it because they say it can get you steps. Yeah, you to pretend you're walking, it'll accumulate steps in your pedometer app. What's that about? Why? So you sat down and your phone's accumulating pedometer steps. I mean, talk about cheating yourself. Flipping out. Oh, you never guess how far I walked today. 2,000 miles. But you were sat at your desk all day. Ha! Okay, you want one of these, mate? This'll fill your app. I mean, who cares what your app thinks about you? It's supposed to be reflecting accuracy, isn't it? Right, so that was one thing that I saw. And then the next thing, I'm not going to get one of these, and I won't be able to get one of these, and I doubt there's more than about 2 or 3 left in the world. So it's not about that. It's just I saw it, and I thought, wow, I did not know that existed. And I imagine not everyone here will know it either. It's the Nordmendy Spectra Colour Studio TV. Catchy name. Right, now, this is a television with a colour TV at the top, but 3 black and white TVs at the bottom, and they can all be on different channels. And this thing actually came out, apparently it was supposed to be sold to kind of TV executives or somebody important, not just your normal family type thing, and it was quite expensive, obviously. But yeah, 4 tuners in here. And the thing that's even better about this, I mean, this is just the most amazing looking thing in the world. Each of these screens, you can't see it very well on here, but there's a Nixie tube which displays the channel number. And on top of that, you got wires going to the TV to this box, which was for remote control, I think. But also, plugged into there, you can have headphones, and you can choose which of those you want to listen to. I mean, that's I think it was like 1967 or something, this thing. But they didn't just stop there. They did a couple of these, and they changed the design. This one is a later one, same idea. Still 3 black and white screens and a colour screen at the top. But you can see this is more modern, and in fact, unfortunately, they've done away with the Nixies. This has a digital display next to each of the screens. But yeah, I mean, that's literally the coolest looking television I've ever seen. And I thought you might be interested in seeing that as well. And no, I won't be getting one. I wouldn't have anywhere to put it if I did. But you can just appreciate things sometimes. That you don't have to have them to appreciate them, do you? It's like you see a Ferrari or something. You go, that's a nice car. You don't want one yourself. Well, there you are. It's like that's my Ferrari there. That Nordmendy. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if anyone comes from wherever Nordmendys are made. And they go, oh no, it's not Nordmendy, it's Crum. And I'll be like, oh, sorry, I didn't realise. And finally, I don't know if I can lift this up, actually. It's going to be heavy. I bought, I've written down ugly ass audio machine, so you kind of get the idea. Just give me a second. Oh God, this thing weighs a ton. Oh, see all the blood rush to my head there. In fact, I won't be able to lift it up. You're too high. Oh, all right, hold on. Right, see this thing here? Right, I'm going to open the eject now. This is my workout. Right, so this is where the tape goes in. See there? That's your thing. Oh God, that weighs a ton. Made by Philips. Model number LGC 2050. It appears to be some kind of background music machine, and it uses tapes that I'm just trying to see what size would that be. It's bigger than a VHS. I'd just like to find a tape for that. So if you have a tape for one of these things, let me know. And then, let me just put this down. I want to show you the next thing. Behind me here, oh, by the way, you probably see the ZX Spectrum next. No, there's not going to be a video on that. That's one of those things that I ordered ages ago, and now I've got it. I'm thinking, I don't know what to do with that. I don't really have time to set it up and mess around with it. But yeah, anyway, so that's why I've got the Commodore 64 thing still in its box as well. But this is what I'm here to talk about. This is the Sony TCMR2. This is a little micro cassette recorder, and it's got a weird eject mechanism. Let me just show you this. Ejects upwards like that. You don't see that. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, but the problem is on the cassette door here. There's supposed to be 2 screws in the front of there holding the cassette door on. One of those has gone missing, and I don't know what those kind of screws are called. So I don't really know what to search for. Now, a lot of cassette recorders have similar types of things like this, but these ones seem quite small, and I tried to take some pictures outside before, and I didn't do very well because the sun was sort of creating shadows and things. But if you've got a supply of these little screws, please let me know. The size of them, I couldn't even find a tape measure, but I tried to find something that they'd fit in, and you know, if you get an SD card, on the right hand side of it there's that little notch cut out, and the end of the screw will fit in there. So if you've got one of these, you can see if the screw will fit inside that little notch. I'd like to do that thing up, and I don't know how to get the part that I need. I mean, you think, oh, I'll just search for a broken one, you know, one for spares or repairs. That's the only one I've seen for sale for years. They're very rare, so you don't see them around anywhere. I meant to mention this earlier on. There's still no Muppet videos. There won't be any for a while. Even if I had an idea for them, the missus is working from home now, and the table and area in which I was shooting those, well, she's commandeered that as her office because she's still doing the job she was doing before. She's going to be there for the foreseeable. I mean, it's going to be another month at least, maybe 6 weeks or 2 months, who knows. Anyway, so there you go. That's it for this one. Long one, but you know, it's the length it is, isn't it? That's it. That's all I can say about that. But anyway, that's it. Thanks a lot, and thanks for watching. And I'll speak to you again in a month or so.